Hey there, welcome. Okay, let me ask you, have you ever asked what you thought was a simple question and suddenly found yourself in a full-blown argument? Have you ever walked away from a conversation thinking, why is he so defensive all the time? If so, I want you to know it's not just you. You're not crazy, and you're definitely not failing as a partner. This is one of the most frustrating and confusing parts of being in a relationship impacted by trauma. Let me share a moment that might sound familiar. Your husband with CPTSD is cooking dinner and pulls out the fries from the freezer. You casually mention there's the kind he likes better, thinking you're being helpful. Next thing you know, he's in the bedroom, door closed, refusing to eat. For someone with CPTSD, even well meaning comments can feel like criticism or rejection. What you intended as a kind suggestion might have triggered feelings of not being good enough or a fear of failing, leaving them overwhelmed and shutting down instead. If you've been there, watching a simple moment spiral into emotional chaos, you're not alone. And today I want to share with you the real trauma informed reason why this keeps happening. We're going to talk about what's actually going on in his brain when he gets so defensive, even when it seems like you didn't do anything wrong. And even more importantly, I'm going to show you how to respond without making it worse, because there is a better way to have these conversations, even in a trauma impacted relationship. So if you're tired of walking on eggshells, tired of every discussion turning into a battle, tired of feeling like you're the enemy in your own home, this is for you. Now, let's dive in. Okay, so let's talk about what's actually happening when he reacts this way. Because if you don't understand why he's so defensive, you'll keep getting stuck in the same painful cycle. And here's the truth: defensiveness isn't really about you, it's about protection. When someone has complex PTSD, CPTSD, their brain has learned to see the world through the lens of danger. They grew up in an environment where they couldn't trust the people who were supposed to keep them safe, where every mistake might have led to punishment, shame, rejection, or even abuse. So now, even years later, their nervous system is wired to respond to any perceived criticism as a threat. Imagine it like this: your calm suggestion is like tossing a spark onto a pile of dry leaves. You didn't mean to start a fire, but his brain interprets it as danger. Your, hey, there's another kind of fries you like better, feels like you're not good enough. You're failing. You can't even do dinner right. It's not logical, you guys, and it's not fair. And it's not what you actually said. But to his nervous system, it's real. His trauma trained his brain to survive these moments by defending, attacking, shutting down, running away. So when he slams the door and refuses to eat, it's not about you being wrong or unkind. It's his old survival strategy taking over. And I want you to really hear this. It's not your fault. And it's not even his fault. It's what actually happened to him. And if you can see it that way, you can start to respond in a way that actually breaks the cycle. Because if you keep responding the way you always have, you'll keep feeding the fire. So instead, I want to show you how to be the one who calms the fire. Now, let's talk about the cycle you're probably stuck in right now. Because if you're watching this, chances are you've tried everything to fix these moments. You've tried staying calm. You've tried using I statements. You've tried apologizing right away. You've tried avoiding conflict altogether. You've tried it all. And let's be honest, most of these strategies don't work in a trauma impacted relationship. And here's why. Traditional communication advice assumes both people are regulated, that both of you have access to calm, rational thinking in the moment. But CPTSD literally disables that in conflict. When your partner is triggered, their survival brain is in charge. Their logical brain, the one that understands your good intentions, is offline. It's like trying to negotiate with someone who's running from a bear. No matter how calm or loving your words are, they won't land because they're not hearing you. They're hearing every wound that's ever told them. You're not good enough. You're always messing up. You're a failure. That's why even your gentle, helpful comments can seem like attacks. Like the fries story. You're thinking, hey, I literally just wanted to help you pick the kind you like better. And he's hearing, you can't even do dinner right. You're failing. You're disappointing me. And so he reacts with defensiveness, withdraw, sometimes rage, silence. It's the classic trauma cycle. You try to fix it. He feels attacked. He shuts down. You feel hurt and confused, and you both feel alone. This is why traditional advice fails, because it doesn't address the real issue. Dysregulation, nervous system triggers, unsolved trauma patterns. That's why you need a different approach. You don't need better words. You need a better way to manage the moment itself. And that's exactly what the pause method is for. It's the difference between pouring gasoline on the fire and calming it down enough to talk. Okay, let's talk about what actually works, because once you understand why traditional advice fails, you can start to see why a trauma-informed approach makes all the difference. This is where the pause method comes in. It's not about saying the perfect thing to avoid conflict. It's about knowing how to hold the moment so it doesn't spiral. It's about protecting your peace and creating a space where real connection is even possible. Okay, here's what pause stands for. The P stands for press pause. So the moment you see the defensiveness, the eye roll, the harsh tone, I want you to stop. Don't mirror it. Don't escalate it. Don't try to fix it right then. This is the hardest part for most of us. So instead of what you've normally been doing, which is trying to apologize, trying to explain yourself, I want you to say things like, I'm not engaging in this right now. This isn't necessary in front of the kids. Let's take a break and talk later. I know it sounds scary and you might think, won't that make it worse? But here's the truth. It's already escalated. You know it if you've been in these moments. Continuing just feeds the fire. It's almost like you're telling your partner that he sensed danger, and by you over explaining and trying to fix it and apologizing, it's like telling his brain, yes, there is danger here. I knew it. So pressing pause is your first act of breaking the cycle. The second step is the A, and it's that you need to accept it's not about you. And this one took me years. I used to get so sick of people saying, don't take it personally. And I think I'm not taking it personally until I realized I was. And not taking it personally means this: letting the emotion fall off your shoulder. It was nothing that you did or said. Not stewing about it for hours, not going to bed rehearsing what you should have said differently or how you should have handled it differently, and not canceling your plans because they're sulking. It means recognizing this is about their past, their pain, not your worth, and releasing it. The third step is the U, and that is unlock clues for readiness. And this is where patience comes in. We want to resolve it now, but you know what? Nothing will get resolved while emotions are high. And you get to decide also if you're ready, and watch for signs that they are ready. Say things like, I'm still processing everything. Let's come back to it tomorrow if you're not ready and your partner is trying to push you to keep going with it. This is hard, but it's the difference between a productive talk later and another fight now. The S is seek support. I don't want you to sit in silence, losing yourself to something that you can't fix alone. This is when you get busy. Call a friend, go for a walk, do what you need to keep living, reach out to your support system. This is not about abandoning them. You're refusing to abandon yourself. And this is very much correlated to you not taking it personally. And the last step is E, and that is engage when ready. So this is where the real magic happens. I want you to come back to the conversation later when no one's triggered. And this is your chance to finally have a better conversation, the one that builds connection, not conflict. So, for example, hey, I've been thinking about last night. Are you open to talking about it? I want us to handle these things differently next time. Or in that fries example, I know it got weird last night. Wasn't trying to criticize you at all. Can we talk about how we can handle that moment better? And if you need help with this, I have something for you. I've got a free better conversation script that you can grab, and it gives you the exact words for the follow-up, even in tough moments, because those follow-up conversations are when real change happens. The pause method works because it's not about controlling them. It's about controlling you, your responses, your peace, your boundaries. It's not easy, but it is possible, and it can change everything. Now, I know you might be thinking, okay, Danielle, this sounds so good in theory, but will it really work for me? My situation feels impossible. I want you to know I get that because I thought the same thing, and so did so many of my clients. So let me just share a few of their stories. Brittany told me, your coaching is phenomenal because you actually took the time to listen to my situation and walk through it step by step. She felt like nothing would change. And I'll tell you what, she was really scared of that follow-up conversation. But she trusted and she started using the pause method step by step in her real life. And instead of instantly defending herself or begging for connection, she was able to press pause. She told me, he didn't even have to do anything. It was all me. I didn't know I could make that kind of change just by adjusting myself. Jill said, I've read all the books, tried the counseling, but your tools were the missing piece. They finally gave me the missing piece. For her, it was about the follow-up conversation that changed everything. So instead of stewing or exploding, she learned to come back calmly and talk about what really mattered. And that isn't all the downstream things that get said after the trigger happens, right? So having heard that talk made me far more likely to use the tools next time. Another told me, I didn't know how you did it, but even over Zoom, I felt so safe to be fully open. She'd been shutting down because of fear and shame, but she started using the pause method and she found herself finally able to talk without blame, without spiraling. She said, it felt like the first real conversation we'd had in years. These are not unicorn marriages with no issues. They're real people facing real trauma-related patterns. And listen, their partners didn't magically change overnight. What changed was how they responded. And that shift changed everything over time. Because when you stop feeding the fire, you stop living in survival mode. You start creating safety, calm, and space for both of you to show up differently. And that's the power of trauma-informed communication. You can't control them, but you can lead the way. It doesn't mean it's all on you, but it does mean you have more power than you think. I want you to journal on this. I want you to think, what's one situation recently where you wish you had pressed pause? And how might it have felt to let the emotion fall away instead of taking it personally? Now, if you're seeing yourself in these stories, good. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're exactly who this method is for. So if you've been nodding along, recognizing yourself in these stories, if you're done with constant blow-ups, the silent treatment, the feeling that nothing you say lands the way you want it to, if you're ready for something different, I want to personally invite you to grab something I made, just for you. The conversation script that actually works, even in a trauma impacted relationship. You guys, this isn't just theory. This is the exact script I use myself for that final crucial step in the pause method, the follow-up conversation. So let's be real. We can pause, we can give space, we can regulate ourselves, but eventually we have to talk about it. And that's where most of us freeze or fight or give up entirely. Inside this free guide, you're going to get a very short expert-led video from me explaining exactly how I use the script. The full word-for-word printable conversation script you can grab in the heat of the moment, a mini printable version to keep in your purse, wallet, or on your fridge, because I know these conversations are scary. You want to say the right thing, but it feels like everything just makes it worse. With this script, you'll know how to start the conversation without triggering defenses, set the tone so your partner actually hears you, validate without enabling, hold your boundary with love, and end the cycle of silence and resentment. Avoiding the conversation doesn't create peace. It just delays the explosion. And let's change that. Because when you learn to have these conversations safely, it doesn't just shift your marriage. It teaches your children what healthy repair looks like. It breaks the cycle of emotional shutdown. It builds trust, even after years of hurt. The work ripples out. If you're ready to stop walking on eggshells and start really talking, get your free script today. So click the download the conversation script that actually works. It's free, it's practical, and it will help you take that last essential step of the pause method with confidence. Another thing I want you to think about and journal on is, what conversation have you been avoiding because you didn't know how to start, right? What could change if you had the words ready to go? Okay, so if you're ready, grab the free guide today. And before we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this. I know this work isn't easy. I know you're probably exhausted. You've tried the calm voice. You've tried giving in. You've tried walking on eggshells. You've tried silence. You've tried yelling. You've probably even tried therapy. But here's what I want you to hear. You're not failing. You just haven't had the right tools for the problem you're actually dealing with. Your partner's reactivity isn't about you being too much, too emotional, or impossible to please. It's about trauma. It's about a nervous system that's been on high alert for years. It's about survival strategies that worked back then, but destroy connection now. You did not cause it. You cannot fix it for them, but you can change how you respond. It's not about giving up or walking away. It's about learning how to stay in the relationship without losing yourself. It's about protecting your peace so you can actually connect. I want you to imagine this. What if next time things escalated, you didn't match it? What if you took that breath, stepped back, and didn't feed the fire? What if you actually paused? Imagine the look on your partner's face when they realize they don't have to fight. Imagine the safety that you can create by not controlling them, but by controlling you. Imagine what that models for your kids and family. Peace isn't passive, it's intentional. We can't heal what we refuse to see. Boundaries aren't walls, they're bridges to healthy connection. All right, so I want you to think about these questions too. Where in your relationship do you keep getting pulled into the same fight? What would it look like to respond differently next time? And remember, you don't have to figure this out alone. That's why I'm here. That's why I created the pause method. That's why that script is ready for you to download. You deserve a relationship where you feel safe, heard, and valued. You deserve conversations that bring you closer instead of pushing you apart. So take the next step. Grab the free guide. Watch this video again if you need to, and book a 1-hour call with me if you're ready for real personalized help, because you're worth it. Your relationship is worth it. Your family's future is worth it. Thank you so much for being with me here today. You're doing brave, important work, and I'm so honored to be a part of your journey.